oh man, today's video is all about Shannon Sharpe putting ESPN on blast. So, here's what went down earlier today. Word started circulating that Shannon Sharpe had been dropped by ESPN. But right away, folks were skeptical. Wait a minute, people said ESPN hasn't put out any official statement, so this can't be real. A lot of that buzz came from diehard Shannon fans who just want to see him back on ESPN's First Take. And honestly, many of them have admitted they stopped watching the show ever since he left. But here's the twist. Shannon finally addressed everything himself on his Nightcap with UNC and Ocho podcast. And what he said. Let's just say it's worth a closer listen. I want to break down that moment and highlight some things you might have missed. Let's roll the clip. So yeah, that was Shannon Sharpe calling out ESPN, basically saying the way they handled the whole situation was sloppy. He had hoped to manage things differently quietly behind the scenes, and on his own terms. He specifically wanted the news to break on a certain date so he could keep the spotlight on his brother receiving his gold jacket, which clearly meant a lot to him. But not everyone's siding with Shannon on this. Plenty of people online have been saying, look, Shannon, this is on you. You made the decisions that led to this moment, so now you've got to deal with the consequences. They're arguing that neither his brother nor ESPN had anything to do with the timing. It's his mess, and he needs to own it. And honestly, it seems like some of the public support he once had is starting to fade, especially after the drama involving that OnlyFans model. She even took shots at him, jokingly announcing her retirement from the platform like it was some kind of tribute. She put out a statement thanking her fans and everything, basically trolling Shannon. That's when the internet really pounced. VLAD TV chimed in, joking, wow, Shannon Sharpe made an OnlyFans model retire. Then people started digging up old clips of Shannon talking about how he only had $30,000 set aside for his daughter's wedding and how he wasn't going a penny over that. The backlash just kept growing from there.
Man, I wish I might.
So that old clip made its way back online, and as you can see, the reaction on X, formerly Twitter, has been non-stop. Just scroll through the comments. People are not holding back. Some are saying, wait, you dropped $20 million to quietly settle things with an OnlyFans model, but you only set aside $30,000 for your black daughter's wedding. That contrast really struck a nerve with folks. And yeah, it's not a good look for Shannon Sharpe right now, with his public image taking hits. A lot of people are wondering, what's next for Shannon? I'd imagine he's already thinking ahead. There are plenty of networks out there that cover NFL content, and that could easily be his next lane, getting back into an analyst role for the football season. In the meantime, he'll likely double down on his podcast, Nightcap, whatever happens. We know Shannon's going to keep his fan base in the loop. If he wants another corporate gig, the options are there. But honestly, he's got a strong enough platform now that going independent might be the smarter move on, one he could thrive in. Now, there's even buzz about a possible reunion with Skip Bayless. Some fans are hoping they'll launch a podcast together, maybe something centered around NFL commentary. Could Shannon return to FS1? That's not out of the question. Fox Sports recently made some big cuts, which means they've freed up budget. If they gave Shannon full creative control, especially now that his name carries even more weight thanks to his podcast success, people would tune in for sure. Just imagine it, Shannon back on air, this time calling the shots, maybe even replacing one of those recently canceled shows like the one Joy Taylor was on. It might be the perfect storm with NFL season coming up. The timing couldn't be better. Now it's your turn. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think. Do you see Shannon Sharpe landing another major gig after everything that just happened? Or is it time he goes fully independent? And how do you feel about the way he called out ESPN? Hit that like button if you've stuck with me this far. And don't forget to subscribe. Catch you in the next one. Peace. Another factor that could influence Shannon Sharpe's next move is the shifting landscape of sports media itself. With the rise of digital platforms, former athletes and analysts no longer have to rely solely on traditional networks for visibility or income. Shannon's already built a strong presence through his podcast, and leveraging platforms like YouTube, Pick1, or even live sports commentary via streaming could offer him greater control and direct connection with his audience. Additionally, public perception, though currently shaken, is rarely permanent. Many public figures have bounced back from personal controversies through transparency, accountability, and consistent high-quality work. If Shannon addresses the concerns raised by fans in an honest and thoughtful way, he has a strong chance of rebuilding trust and reinforcing his legacy in sports commentary. There's also the business side of things to consider. Shannon has demonstrated a strong understanding of branding, from his podcast to his personal image. If he moves forward strategically aligning with brands, starting his own media company, or even mentoring younger analysts, he could reshape his career in a way that not only maintains relevance, but expands his influence beyond the analyst desk. Furthermore, his deep football knowledge, on-field experience, and natural charisma still make him a valuable asset, whether it's through guest appearances, special segments, or partnering with a sports betting platform or athlete-focused content brand. Shannon has numerous pathways available that align with the current evolution of sports entertainment. Legal matters, of course, can cast long shadows, but how one handles the aftermath is often what defines the narrative going forward. If Shannon's legal team is proactive and he's careful about what he shares publicly, he may be able to steer his public story away from controversy and toward reinvention. This would require both discipline and savvy, but Sharpe has proven capable of navigating complex media waters in the past. In the end, Shannon Sharpe's situation highlights a broader conversation about privacy, image control, and career autonomy in the digital age. As sports figures increasingly become content creators and media entrepreneurs, traditional companies like ESPN may struggle to manage personalities with strong independent brands. Shannon's next chapter could serve as a blueprint for how former athletes can pivot from network talent to media mogul with full control of their voice and vision.